Nobody releases in the UK today and stars Bob Odenkirk and Christopher Lloyd. And this is a John Wick-esque tale in which Bob Odenkirk trades in the suit of Saul Goodman in order to use the fists of Hutch. Does he manage to adapt this action movie role well? Let's find out. Hutch is a regular 9 to 5 worker that really hates his job. He's in a strange family life, but after a home invasion causes a chain of events to go off, Hutch has to deal with his past life and really embrace the inner part of him that craves pure and utter violence. So, first and foremost, does Bob Odenkirk manage to adapt to this sort of role well? Indeed, yes, he does. This was written by the same people that wrote John Wick, and whilst it could have easily been a John Wick copycat movie, the dry comedy in this is what makes it truly stand out. Bob Odenkirk is great at this dry commentary. Some of the best scenes is when he's talking about some very dark things in a casual manner, and he'll even go back and correct himself on certain tidbits of information that aren't important to us, but they are important to him. And he is by far a great person for this role of this middle aged man who's trying to lead a normal life, but ends up being drawn back into it due to, of all things, a missing kitty cat bracelet, which isn't really a spoiler because it's listed in the trailer. That's all I'm going to spoil about the film in general. I've also got to really talk about my surprise that Christopher Lloyd was in this. I did not know he was in this until I saw his name in the opening credits, and his role in this brought such joy to my eyes and ears. I did not know I needed Christopher Lloyd in this sort of role and this sort of capacity until now. But I'm telling you, without spoiling anything, he is well worth the price of admission just to see what happens throughout this. I do also love how it's just a chain of events that gets things going. In John Wick, obviously, you have the infamous dead dog that causes the rampage. But in this one, the main lead, Hutch, just happens to be in the right place at the wrong time or the right time, depending on your perspective, especially from Hutch's perspective. He was really into how he ended up in this certain area at this specific time, and he really goes all out in it. I do love how they set up a lot of small things earlier on, and I do love the slow reveal of who Hutch actually is as a character and why he's able to do a lot of things that he does do within the confines of this film. However, I do have to say, one of my few flaws with this is the fact that once you do find out who he is, with a great little sequence, by the way, of someone investigating him, finding out who he is, and promptly just chucking the file to our big bad guy and quitting. After that, and after we know who he is and what he had to do in the past before he adapted to this very crappy 9 to 5 lifestyle, it really takes away from the initial premise. The initial premise was that he is an absolute nobody that is able to kick all kinds of ass. The way the trailer pitches it, it's basically a home invasion, causes him to go mad over smallest little things because he's a family man first and foremost, and he'll do anything for his family. But they obviously go down this route of he did something very, very top secret, right down to have these very top secret connections, and it really takes away from that basic title premise. So whilst he does maintain that comedic aspect throughout the entire runtime, it does lose some of its impact when we see what it can do. The film very well and truly peaks on a bus, which is quite early on in the film. As we get later on into the film, it's great to see him interact with these people from the past and seeing how out there some of the action sequences goes. And it does feel quite video gamey at time, but that's part of the fun. If you're wanting an action film that's gonna blow you away in terms of how great it is technically and from a story and character standpoint, you are gonna be disappointed. But in terms of just going to a film that's fun, that really shows the spectrum that Bob Odenkirk can do in terms of his acting capabilities, because we've already seen him in this darkly comedic role of Saul Goodman. We've seen him do very dramatic roles with Saul Goodman, as well as films like The Post. He's in that and does very well in that indeed. This was a route that we hadn't seen in properly before. I feel like he fit this role really, really well. So before I do get into my grade, If you like what I do on this channel, be sure to click that like button and subscribe to the channel. Aiming to get to 300 subscribers by the end of this month. Getting a lot of reviews out over the next few days, hopefully, assuming my systems don't go kaput on me. But yeah, if you are enjoying what you've seen so far, be sure to hit the notification bell as well. And if you have been waiting around for me during my little hiatus over the last month, thank you, is very much appreciated. But without further ado, let's talk about the grade for this, shall we? Overall, Nobody has a great little premise. It manages to avoid just being a John Wick clone, and Bob Odenkirk does a fantastic job as our lead, as does Christopher Lloyd, and even the antagonist, who I've not mentioned so far, is a lot of fun as well. Though, like I say, apart from some very good action scenes, some very creative uses of brutality kills. There's one particular kill that I really enjoy involving a kettle. That is great to see. It really does ride that line between a 15 and an 18 rating here in the UK. But the story of the character himself does fall off quite a bit towards the end once you figure out where he's come from and why he's able to do exactly what he does. So grab your biggest bag of popcorn and enjoy a nice, fun, dumb, funny action flick that is definitely up there with one of my favorites of the year, purely because of how enjoyable it was. It's not the greatest film ever, but in terms of enjoyment factor, you get exactly what you want. I'm going to have to say that Nobody for me is a good cup of tea. So, Nobody, have you seen it? If you have, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. What is your favourite Bob Odenkirk performance? Coming up next on the channel, well, got a few reviews to do, haven't I? Got Cruella, I have A Quiet Place Part 2. These are all going to be quite late reviews. And maybe I'll do some directing ranking videos. I am high time to do another video essay similar to my Matt Reeves one, which has done very well recently. So if you've been supporting that video, thank you very much. I am looking forward to making more video essays, providing the audience is there for them, of course. But until next time, my name is Josh, I have been your movie apprentice, and I'll see you in the next video.